wanna talk about it? Let's talk about
JSpire
it.
Live.
Don't you wanna talk
And now,
about it? Let's talk
Mr.
about
JSpire.
it. Don't you wanna talk about it? Let's talk about it. Don't you wanna talk about it? Let's talk about it.
Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. Happy Fill Up Friday. Happy Fill Up Friday live. So, hello to all of my YouTube followers. We always go live on YouTube, but we also usually go live on Facebook. But tonight we are having some technical difficulties and we are not able to stream on Facebook tonight. However, once this video is over, I will post on Facebook. So if you guys want to share it, you want to, share it with someone, or you want to rewatch it will be there as well. So I'm excited to be with you guys tonight. Want to know how you all are doing. Go ahead and check in with us. Drop something into the comments. Let us know that you are here. Let us know what you filled up on. If you're catching this replay somewhere later, some other time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Still make sure that if you're catching this replay, make sure that you engage with us, that you interact with us. We do come back and look at the comments to ensure that we are encouraging and we are motivating our listeners. So, how has everybody's week been? How has your Friday been? What did you fill up on? Who did you encourage? Where did you sow seeds? Right? Are you feeling half empty? Are you feeling half full? Are you feeling just right? Let me know how you are feeling. So again, I'm excited to be here tonight. What I wanted to talk about tonight is this week I felt so compelled to just check in on my people, to check in on people that I hadn't spoken to even just check in on those people who check in on me. um, we had Monday Thoughts, and Monday Thoughts said situations happen in life that will cause so much hurt and pain. Those same situations can also help you grow and bring about a freedom that you never knew you needed. There will be days that the pain gets the best of you, but there will always be days that the growth frees you, and learn to embrace them both. So as I thought about that, the next couple of days, I really just kind of thought about checking in with people. There is, if you guys can recall, so I'm in the Hampton Roads area, and there's been some things that's been happening here that's been causing a lot of people to kind of think about mental health, kind of think about how people are feeling, how people are dealing. And it really touched me this week because I saw a outpouring of people being concerned about people. I also saw some outpouring of people just being curious. And then I saw some outpouring of people just being nosy. Right. And then as I started to watch some other stuff on social media, I'm thinking like there's always people that sharing bad news, people that sharing things that's not so good, but we're not always sharing things that are good. And that is part of why I started JSpire Live on social media, is because I felt like there was always negative things happening. And they were outweighing the good things that were happening in our lives, outweighing the good things that's happening in the world. So I wanted to create a space where I could bring some positivity and bring some love and bring some inspiration and bring some encouragement. So I'm not going to be long tonight, but what I want to do is encourage you to check on people. Check on people that you love. Check on people that you haven't spoken to in a while. Even check on those people who maybe you are having some type of I don't know, I'm gonna go back and use an old word, maybe having some type of beef with, or someone that you hadn't talked to, maybe you're not friends anymore. If it's some trauma wrapped around it, then no, you don't have to go back to it. But I'm talking about those folks that maybe you just lost contact with, that maybe you want to have contact with. Just check on them. And I also wanted to just talk about lingo, right? Talk about verbiage a little bit tonight. Sometimes we hear people say, check on your strong friends. And I want to let you guys know that sometimes that person that's always there for you, sometimes they're not strong. They're just stretching themselves because they want to be there. So, yeah, check on them, right? Make sure that they are good. Make sure that they are getting what they need, that they have what they need. That's part of Fill Up Friday. That's part of JSpirations. That's part of why we come together on Friday nights. And it's because it's a check-in. But I want to make sure that you're checking in beyond just coming on the show and listening. That you're checking in beyond just making sure that you get what you get, but check on those other people. Check on those people that pour into you. Check on those people that send you texts, right? I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they asked me, how is this person doing? And how is that person doing? And although I was able to tell them, and sometimes I wouldn't, I would say, I don't know. I didn't talk to them today. And then I asked the person that I was speaking to, how often is someone calling you and asking you how you're doing? And they said, well, I talk to a lot of people, whatever, but they don't necessarily ask me that. And so that's what I want us to get accustomed to doing. That when we're calling someone, even we're checking on someone, because sometimes we need something, make sure you're asking that person, how are you doing? Right? You may be their only safe space. You may make a world of difference in that person's space just because you sent the text and said, hey, how are you? I'm checking in on you. How are you feeling? Do you need anything? Are you well today? Right? Remember that old saying that we've heard since we were children, treat people the way you want to be treated. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so that's what that is. I want to be the person that's checking in. I want to be the person that's there to make sure a person, they're emotionally supported, right? But I also want people to check on me, and that's real talk, right? I've been the strong friend. I've been the person that people call on when they need something. And although I don't want to be the strong friend anymore. I want to be the person that I know that someone can count on, but I also want someone to be able to say, hey, how is Joe feeling? How is Joe Shalon doing? What does she have going on? So I'm just encouraging you just to do a check-in. Janice just said, I discussed this with a friend today. Check in. And you guys know, like, Janice checks in on me randomly out of the blue. And I appreciate that. And I should check on her more. This week was as people say, kind of come to Jesus moment. I always tell you guys, I was reflecting today. I was reflecting this week. And usually I am reflecting about how I'm doing, right? Where I am, what capacity I have. But this week I did start to think about, am I checking in? Am I practicing what I'm encouraging, right? And so check in. We were in about one of my Bible studies this week, and my Bible study leader was having us kind of discuss what are the pros, right? What is something that we get from, believing in God, from trusting in God, from having a relationship with him. And one of the things that I said was friendship. Because I truly believe that when you have a relationship with God, when you're open and you're obedient, he leads you to who you need to be in your life, like who needs to be in your life, right? And so friendship is one of those things that you get from having a relationship with God, because He's given me those friends who are people after my own heart, people who love me, who support me, and they're checking in all the time. And although I check in, I have been pushing myself to check in when someone comes on my mind, in my heart. I'm pushing myself to just stop right then if I can and send the text or make the phone call. That I don't want to wait until tomorrow. I don't want to wait until later, because I don't know if God has put that person on your heart, they need you right now. So even if you're not in a place where you can stop and have a full-fledged phone call, listen, technology is all around us. Hit them up on Instagram, Facebook Messenger, send a quick text just to let them know, hey, I'm thinking about you. I love you. What's going on? Can we chat later? You don't know how much that means to someone. You don't know what you're interrupting at that moment, right? Yes, Janice, God gives us friendships that we don't even know that we needed. Sometimes friendships that we didn't even, we didn't want. We're thinking that person doesn't, I don't know. But God gives us friendship, right? He gives us people to connect with that's looking out for us, right? Because we're representing God here on earth. And so God knows what we need. And so yes, He is connecting us with those people. Had a conversation with someone today that I don't even know that well. Like, I think I've only met them probably once, and today was the first time that I really had the opportunity to talk to them. But the conversation was so rich. I got to know more about that person. She had the opportunity to learn some more about me. And when I got off the call with her, I was so refreshed. I felt pumped up. I felt encouraged. I felt heard. I felt seen. And this is from someone who I don't really know, but we're connected by a couple of things. And I had seen her name before, due to work. And when I got to meet her in person, she was like, hey, I'm so and so, and I've seen your name this place. And I was like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And it was like a quick connection there. And she sold into me so much. So tonight I was tired. I told my mom, I was like, I really don't feel like going on. And she said, you should always feel like going on. And I said, Ma, I know, but I'm just like, I'm tired tonight. But this is a check-in too, right? And it's part of my responsibility to check in. This is our weekly check-in to make sure that everybody's okay, right? And even though we're doing this on social media, you guys can see me, I can't see you, but I'm hoping that what I share with you, that it fills you up and that it breaks the plan that the enemy has on your life. It breaks the plan that the enemy has on my life, because we're coming together, even though we're not touching physically, but we're touching and agreeing that we're coming together. We're Philip Friday faithfuls, and it's something that we need, that someone is on here attached to us to give. And then it's something that we need, and something that we need to give, right? And so that's why we're here. It's not an accident that we all connected. It's not by chance. It's not by happenstance. It's intentional, right? It is intentional. And so I want to encourage you to be intentional about checking in on people. This week on my personal page, I posted a couple things, and right away, certain people began to text me, not to be nosy, but they started texting me encouraging things, right? Because they could feel that I needed. And it blessed me so much, you guys. A text. It blessed me so much, because again, it allows you to know that people see you. It allows you to know that people, they hear you, they feel your heart. And it opened up a whole nother conversation with some of those folks that were texting me, that I had something that they needed as well. And we were able to encourage each other. Life is short, but life is good, right? So let's live a good life while we're here. Let's be intentional about, about our relationships. Let's be intentional about our lingo, our verbiage, excuse me, how we're talking to each other and what we're sharing, right? Some of the words that we say, and some of the things that we think about people, what they're going through, what they've been through, why they've made certain decisions. I shared today with someone, the person I was talking to, that I went to an ACEs class, and one of the questions that they asked, that they really made me think about as we're dealing with people is not what's wrong with you, but what happened to you. And sometimes things have happened to people that causes them to walk or move a certain way, to make certain choices, right? And we look at those choices and we're like, oh, what's wrong with them? Why they do that? I would have never done that. First of all, you never know when you'll get in a situation where you'll do something that you maybe didn't think that you would ever do. Second of all, don't beat a person up because they've made a choice that you wouldn't have made. Talk to them, see how they're doing, and see how you can help them and encourage them and support them to maybe not make that same type of choice or decision again. Some people make choices out of fear, right? They make choices out of habit. They make choices out of curses, like generational curses. My mother did it, my sister did it, my dad did it. So that's why I did it. I have to do it. It's the way. But no, when we use the same verbiage, when we love on people, we get the opportunity to show them different ways to doing things. We get the opportunity to help them figure out what options that they may have. Do they still have to make their own choice? Absolutely. But a good friend listens, a good friend encourages, a good friend tells the truth, but a good friend supports a person through whatever issues that they are going through, because we're not perfect, but we all need to check in. We don't have to be strong. We all need to check in. So don't check in just on your strong people, quote, strong. Don't check in just on the people that check in on you. Check in on people, but do be honest with your people and let them know, hey, sometimes I need to check in too. So I want to check in on you, but I want you to check in on me, that this relationship is not 50-50. This relationship is not 25-75. It's not 80-20, right? This is not 90-10. This relationship is 100%, 100%. So we want to make sure that we're giving our all to ourselves. And then we want to make sure that we're giving our all to those people who we are in relationship with, and that it's a reciprocal, right? I have said that I'm no longer participating in relationships that are 90-10 or they are 70-30, right? Not because I don't love the person, not because I'm not concerned about the person, but it's because I want to be in a space where I'm encouraging purpose and intent. And I have to know my limit. I have to know what my capacity is. So I want to be in a healthy relationship, right? Regardless of what kind of relationship it is, I want it to be healthy. And I want each person in that relationship to be able to give their all, right? I don't want to. Now, of course, we know somebody's going to say, well, when somebody's down or somebody's slacking, yeah, we get all that part. There's days where I may not have the capacity, but we want to make sure that it's not something that not having the capacity to do something in a relationship, that is not something that just becomes like, well, I don't want to do it. It's a difference between not wanting to do it, not having the capability of doing it. So we want to make sure that we're giving what we want to receive. And Janice says, especially our elderly, a lot of their friends have passed and they live alone. And, Janice said that, and the elderly are, I'm going to talk about her. The elderly they're the group of people that are dear to her heart. And I know that. So I know what she does. I know how she contributes. I know how she cares. And she's very, she's correct. Elderly people who have live alone, they've been taking care of themselves. They're not used to asking people for anything. They do without. And so if you have an elderly person in your, in your circle, in your space, in your family, in your neighborhood, check in on them, right? They spent a lot of their lives checking in on other people. And you know how we are sometimes. We can be stubborn and we can be hard headed and we don't think we need anybody, but we do. So check in on your elderly people. Check in on your people who like to be alone. Sometimes people get lost in those thoughts and you don't know what's happening with them. Check on them. Like I said before, man, a text, a phone call, it could make a world of difference. So this year, we are checking in on our people, right? We're not laughing things off when they say things to us. We're not, making a joke about it. We're not minimizing it. We're taking things that people say serious, and we are not just hearing them, but we are listening to them, and we are listening to their hearts, because we want to make sure that they are safe. We want to make sure that they get what they need, right? We want to make sure that they feel heard, they feel seen, that they don't feel like they're alone. We don't have to do life alone. All right, you guys, I know this was something different, but I do hope that it was encouraging, and I do hope that it planted a seed that it's important to check in. I hope it planted the seed that you know that you're important. I hope it planted a seed that maybe you can share this video with someone that you've been thinking about, like, that person doesn't check on me, and I thought we were friends, and I thought we were good. Maybe you can share it as a word of encouragement to have someone know that they can reach out to someone else. It's just all about making sure that people know that they are not alone. It's hard out here. It's rough out here. People are struggling financially. People are struggling emotionally, physically. People have a lot of things going on, but God gave us each other for a reason. He knew that we would need, and so he made those connections for us. So he's made them. Be true to them, right? Hold them dearly to your heart. Respect them. Respect those relationships that he has given you, of those people who are loving on you, planting seeds, being genuine about wanting to know how you feel and what you need. And if you're like me, you feel like you're doing it all the time, but you can do it more, right? The text is only going to take a second, right? Just a second, just to say, hey, boo, I'm thinking about you. So I love you guys. I'm checking on you. I'm concerned about you. And because I am, you can inbox me, or you can keep checking me out every Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. for our Fill Up Friday live with our Fill Up Friday faithfuls, because this is what we're doing. We're checking in and we're loving on each other. Hopefully next week we'll be back on Facebook as well. Just some technical difficulties, but can't nobody stop what we doing here on JSpirations Live. We're going to be live somewhere doing something every single Friday and throughout the week. Make sure that if you have not followed our JSpirations Live page on Facebook, please do so. If you have not shared it with somebody, please do so. Right? If you have not liked the page, go on there, watch some replays, and also let me know who y'all want me to talk to. Have a couple things coming up in the next month or so that I'll be sharing in just a little while. But we've been a little slack the last month and a half, but we're about to get back rolling. Why? Because one of my good friends that's concerned about me and that tells me the truth. She said, hey, Mrs. JSpire, what we doing? We need to get busy. And so we are getting busy. And I want you guys to come along for the ride. I'm thankful for you all. I'm thankful for your check-ins, because when you come on Friday nights to Fill Up Friday Live, it makes my heart feel good, and you're checking for me too. And so I appreciate that. So I love you guys so much. I love you with the love of Christ. I want you to make sure that you do something for yourself this weekend that fills you up, right? Practice some of that self-care. Get some rest. Love on yourself. Be sure to love on somebody else. Have a great rest of your night and a great rest of your weekend. And as always, be JSpire.